Hey, what's up guys? It's Jenna Redfield back again for another video all about social media marketing and Instagram. So today I'm so excited. You guys voted on our Instagram which topic you wanted us to talk about this week, and a majority said tagging on Instagram. So I'm going to be talking all about that today. Make sure to follow us on Instagram if you're not, at Twin Cities Collective. This might be on there as well, but we also post this on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook, so make sure to follow us on all of those platforms as well. So today we're going to be talking about tagging on Instagram. This is something I cover in my Instagram growth and Instagram marketing workshop that I do in person, which we have some coming up. So if you haven't signed up for that, make sure to. But one of the things we talk about is how to tag correctly. So I'm not going to be talking about hashtags. Those are a completely different topic. This is tagging accounts on your posts, whether it's stories or actual Instagram posts. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So first off, we have to ask the question, why? Why are you going to tag someone? So the reason that you're tagging someone is usually two reasons. Number one, sometimes people curate from accounts that have tagged them so that you are actually seen by more people. So for example, The Knot. It's a very popular wedding account, wedding website. Basically, a lot of people in the wedding industry tag The Knot on their photos because they want The Knot to reshare their photo. The reason for this is that it's going to have a huge exposure effect where you're going to be seen by a lot of people. They're obviously going to credit you because most really good curated accounts do, and then they will send a bunch of traffic and potentially new followers your way. This can be true of local accounts as well. We are actually a curated account sometimes. A lot of my content lately has been created by us, but when we started, it was basically 100% curated content. We utilized people that had tagged us on social or used our hashtag Twin Cities Collective to curate stuff that would be seen by more and more people. So that is something a lot of accounts still do. So you have to figure out which accounts are curated and which ones are not. You don't want to be tagging non-curated accounts because they're not really going to do anything with your photos. Another reason why you want to tag accounts is that you want to be seen and showing up on their tagged pictures. So if you tag someone on the photo itself, you'll show up on their tagged photos. So that's the main reason why you're gonna want to tag people. You can tag up to 30 people on a post. So sometimes people use all 30. I don't usually do that. But it's similar to hashtags. You get up to 30 different accounts that you can tag. One of my biggest recommendations is do not tag people in the caption. It doesn't show up beyond just a notification for them, and it's just very annoying on my end. I have people that do that sometimes, and it's very annoying. So make sure to tag them on the picture itself. It's much better. So that's tagging on Instagram posts. There's a lot of different accounts that you can tag. We actually have a free hashtag guide that actually is also a tagging guide, so make sure to download that on our website because it has a bunch of local accounts that are curated. The other, and I would say more important tagging, is on Instagram stories. About 2 years ago, they added a feature where if you're tagged on a story, you have the ability to quickly reshare the post that you're tagged in. This has been a game changer for a lot of people, especially for us, because for example, when we launched our Best of Awards, if you didn't know, we do an annual Best of the Twin Cities Awards that are voted by the public. This is how we were able to grow that so fast, is we tagged all of the nominees, the top 5 nominees, and they were able to share that with, like, all of those people had thousands of followers. So imagine all of those thousands of followers seeing that, coming back over to our account. We gained like 1,000 followers in like a week. It was insane. So just knowing that by tagging other companies and accounts on Instagram stories can have such a huge effect for your brand. You'd be seen by so many more. I'll give you an example. I went to the Minneapolis Institute of Arts, which they have a lot of followers on Instagram. I tagged them on my story because I was at one of their exhibits, and they reshared my post. It was so easy. I just tagged them, I tagged the location on my story, but you never know who's looking at those. You know, it could be a really potentially great follower or someone who has never heard of your brand before. So one of my biggest recommendations is to start tagging people on stories. 95% of the time that person's going to reshare it if they're really constantly active on Instagram, and because you're giving them free content and social proof that someone is actually wanting to share stuff on their account. One of the biggest examples of this is podcasts. If you ever listen to a podcast, sometimes they ask you to screenshot, the podcast and tag them on Instagram stories, because it's showing not just to your followers, but also if they reshare it, it's showing to that person's followers that they have so many people listening to the podcast. Look at this person, she's sharing about the podcast. So make sure to, whenever you're listening to a podcast, maybe screenshot it and tag the company. Now, if they have millions and millions of followers, they probably won't reshare it just because there's probably so many people doing that. But if they have like between 1,000 and under 100,000, they probably will reshare it. So I would definitely start doing that every time you're listening to a podcast. Plus, it's helpful for your followers to know what you're listening to. This is so true. Anytime you're at a networking event, make sure to tag the networking's Instagram, tag the location, tag the caterer, tag whoever the sponsors are. These are the people that are going to repost your story. My biggest tip for this is don't just tag people in your posts that have nothing to do with that company. I have people tagging us just to get my attention, and I look at it and I'm like, this has nothing to do with Twin States Collective. If it was talking about the podcast, or maybe people had met someone through the group, then I'm going to reshare it because it has something to do with us. But if you're just tagging us to get our attention on stories and they basically make it invisible for me to even see my name, I think that's a little scammy, so don't do that. So that's my tips for tagging. Make sure to download our free guide on our website. If you go to twinstatescollective.com/free-hashtag-guide, it also has a lot of hashtag information. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and hope you guys start tagging us, tagging a lot of other curated accounts on Instagram, and I'll talk to you all next week. Bye!